Hello everyone, welcome to my brand new Let's Play series of Torment Tides of Numenera. This is Colonel RPG and I'm so happy to have you here hanging out with me as I finally get to play the newest RPG from inXile Entertainment. Developed in cooperation with Obsidian Entertainment using their technology from Pillars of Eternity, this is the spiritual successor to Planescape Torment, released back in 1999, the last day of 1999, and what an RPG that was. Well, this is actually not set in the Planescape setting, but it's done, well, the setting is written by the same guy, Monte Cook. Tides of Numenera is a fantastic setting. It's so interesting. I don't know much about it, but what I know is this. The Ninth World. It's called like that because, well, it's set on Earth, a futuristic Earth, and it looks amazing. But apart from that, the Ninth World, it's called the Ninth World because it's the ninth great civilization to bless Earth with its existence, and there's all these remains on Earth from all the other ones that fell in the meantime, and so it's a setting with magic, it's a setting with crazy technology and interesting things, and just, it's weird. This game is special. And yeah, if you're expecting a game in the lines of Divinity Original Sin, don't. This is not a very combat-heavy game. Well, at least as far as I know. I haven't played it for too long. I just tried to see what the character creation was like. So this first episode is going to be mostly dialogue and a little bit of walking around and a little bit of decisions. But the character creation is actually a prolonged thing. Later on, I'll show you. I will show you. Let's start a new game and stop with this introduction nonsense. Yeah, just a lot of choices, and a lot of hearing this voice of our conscious.
Your mind wakes in darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you. Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important, as if it once meant the world to you, but the details slip away as you grasp at them. You force your eyes open.
Let's look around.
A white-pink fleshy cocoon surrounds you. Even as you look, a minor rent in its side tears open, and the howling wind forces its way inside. The cocoon rips away, gone before you can grab it, spinning you into a dizzying tumble. You are falling, the world many kilometers beneath you. You catch a glimpse of a curved horizon, and also the ground beneath you that is approaching deceptively quickly. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in upon itself. A corona of acid green and black energy playing around its edges. The wind buffets you and burns your eyes, but you don't need to see the details of the faraway ground to know you're in serious trouble. You won't survive a fall from this stratospheric height. A part of your frantic mind babbles that technically you probably fell from a thermospheric height. You struggle to stay focused as the ground rushes toward you.
I'm thinking what the cocoon is for. The first time I read this, I didn't really understand what it was, but now I'm thinking maybe it's some sort of, I don't know. Am I falling from the moon? Am I like an astronaut or something?
Instinctively, you spread your arms and legs, and they respond sluggishly. You stop tumbling head over heels. Though you are still spinning laterally, that motion has calmed as well, and you have space to assess your situation, and perhaps to understand the predicament and the body in which you find yourself. Below you, you see a large landmass. A massive ocean dominates the rest of the visible globe, dotted here and there with island chains. Small moons, unusual structures, and strange machines rush past you in glittering profusion as you plummet toward the ground.
Let's try to remember what happened.
It's hazy. You were in a tall passageway, its sides slicked with dew, the air warm and moist, as if you were caught in the breath of a giant organism. You remember fleeing in fear and exhilaration, laughing through the terror. What was it that pursued you? Something ancient and cold, its coiling power the promise of oblivion. Its shadowed tendrils struck at you, and the walls where they landed were torn apart utterly, destroyed beyond any hope of repair. You leapt into a membranous cocoon and fell from the station, the moon, and then you were empty. But who were you? What was that creature? A word surfaces in your thoughts, and you seize it before it vanishes. Sorrow. The world fills your sight. You're about to hit.
Oh yeah, Apparently you can die in this first introduction. I'm gonna try to stop the fall one last time, because this is not gonna go well.
You're still plummeting. If it's any consolation, the dizzying fall will be over shortly. You see a small glassy dome inside the littered bay. 2 figures outside it. One of them points his arm at you and a riot of colors tangles your fall, slowing you, but not enough. You crash into the building, and as your consciousness winks out, you hear the sounds of the structure collapsing around you, and then darkness.
Now your first thought is gonna be, is this where we collapsed? Is this what we made of the glass dome that we crashed upon? Well, no, it isn't. But that's not really a spoiler. It's just, it aids to the lack of confusion that this beginning of the game can give you. What is this? Metal waves roll over the floor below, sending vibrations through the soles of your boots. You can actually zoom back a whole lot and see a little bit of this. This is what we need to interact with. And there's this little thing over here. Jumbled thoughts cloud your head as you study the empty bowl before you. Drops of liquid fall from the ceiling, spattering on the ground next to the bowl. The light from every drop is reflected in the bowl's rounded hollow, as if it hungers for that light. It needs to be filled, yet the bowl remains dry. Another drop falls from the ceiling and splashes across the pylons, wasted. Let's examine it. You trace your fingers over the slippery, overlapping scales that spiral from the bottom of the bowl. The sharp-toothed rim plucks at your skin. It's going to be tricky to move this bowl without slicing your fingers on the edge. You might have to put some effort into it. Reflected light streaks across the surface of the bowl as another droplet falls from the ceiling. Okay, so you can try to look around and just go around this place. There's nothing to, at least that I've found in the early access build. There's nothing to be done. Let's, well, yeah, I have tutorials enabled because I don't know the game yet too much. I know enough, so you guys can read it. But basically, this is how you go. You add these points. This is my might points, and that will change the likelihood of things happening. The game actually tells you that you don't really need to worry about missing too much. So basically, if you're not very good at might, for example, which at this point you're always at 5, it's okay to fail here because the game just lets you continue in doing interesting things like that, and that is amazing. That's fantastic. That's absolutely genius, and it has to be how RPGs work because that is awesome. And it is indeed how RPGs work, you know, pen and paper RPGs, but you know, computer RPGs sometimes take different routes. Let's go with the 5. There's no point in doing anything. It's fine. There's no, you can go with that. You can go with either. Let's go with this. 60% is fair enough. My RNG is always terrible. We did it! Look at that! I was cursing my RNG, and there it is. You carefully take hold of the ball, avoiding the teeth on the serrated rim. With a deep breath, you move it over the glowing pool of fallen light. But there's no downside to going for the 3. You get those things back, it's not a problem. And now we're collecting that light. What is it? Oh, look at that, look at around. Drop by drop, the bowl feels ripples spreading over the blurred outline of your reflection. A pale blue luminescence stretches into the corners of the room. A clear radiance spills across the segmented floor, washing away the nearest shadows and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You are not whole, not yet, but you have begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out from somewhere high above, beyond the reaches of the spreading light. Hello? Are you still alive down there? We're up here. Build a path up to us and be careful. Okay, that's just a voice. We didn't actually see anybody. Okay, we're good. Yes, I know I can zoom in, and I like playing zoomed in because this game has amazing graphics. Really, guys, it is unbelievable the quality of this thing. It doesn't look it in the screenshots, or in some screenshots anyway, but like, you won't see it too much over here. You'll have to wait a few episodes for us to get out of the starting area. Not this area, mind you, but let's just interact with this light of amazingness, whatever this is. As soon as you touch the orb, a memory floods your mind. You stand in front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dank. You've had a moment's respite from this waterlogged hell. A bubble of stale air is your resting point. You've breathed water before, and you've lived decades beneath the waves, but this body's an air breather, and the constant pressure has been crushing you ever so subtly. Worse, your companion's mind seems to be wandering from the task at hand. He's a genius with machines, as you well know, but he seems distracted. The device in your hands is covered in knobs, wires, and antennas. He believes it can get the two of you through the corroded door, but he's merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost his faith in his invention, but that is hardly your concern. This mission cannot be delayed. It must proceed. So basically, this is how you get suggested your first set of what do they call it? Denominators. It's a thing. You'll see that later. But this is basically an extended character creation. You get to define your character, and I got a very defined character right now for me. My guy, well, it's kind of stereotypical in a way, but kind of not, because you don't see that too much, and it's not really a very, you know, it's not very stereotypical. He is a little bit, but basically he's the charming rogue, sort of, because he's more deceptive. So he's the charming rogue if the charming rogue was always evil. And yeah, my character is gonna be not evil, but his actions will be. So yeah, basically, my intentions are good, but my actions will be evil. So that's gonna be my way of doing things. My means will always justify, well, my ends will always justify the means. And if I can go the bad route, the evil way of doing things, then I'm gonna do it. But of course, in this character creation, we're not gonna be getting into such philosophical notions. So just gonna go right now and threaten him until he returns to the task at hand. Your shouted words seem muffled in the stale air. Your companion flinches away from you. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to be sure I hadn't made a mistake. He makes minute adjustments to the knobs and blinking levers of the device, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. A dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the waterboarded cells and the aquatic viewing areas. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you're underwater again, your hands closing around a strange yet familiar artifact. You need it to complete something. It hovers above a pedestal, rotating in the dark waters. An electric current runs through your fingers as your hand crosses the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that the wave of pressure dazes you for a moment. The rising pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water. The guards won't be far behind. Okay, so let's use the device to stop them, one of the ciphers in your belt. Because ciphers are apparently magical devices, I'm not really sure. At least as far as I know. You run urgent fingers over the devices, fastened to your waist. A fog rising in your mind, a few can be used against the guards, but will also turn your skin to synth still, or the surrounding water to boiling wax. Hardly ideal. Finally, you find a small silver sphere. Setting the sphere in place, you kick desperately for the safety of a nearby alcove. The sphere whirls and unfolds into a spiraling vortex. The sphere at its center speaks a few polite words in an ancient language, then begins draining the surrounding water into itself with alarming speed. The approaching guards shout, then scream as they too are sucked into the whirlpool and ripped to pieces. You allow yourself a fleeting smile, but are all too aware that more alarms are going off in the distance. The memory begins to fade, as if you were being drawn backwards through a tunnel, and you hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into that gap in your mind, but the edges of it are rough, as though the memory itself is not truly yours. There's something else, a gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey at the far end of a dark, whispering field. And now we can finally go up there, but the voices, there's nobody over here. Yep. This mirror looks strange, as though what you see in it is real and you're the reflection. Huh. Interesting. Let's see what we have here. The light around the door's frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in a high wind. So I don't know what these are. The architecture kind of reminds me of the beginning eras of Planescape Torment. I don't actually remember what they were called. But basically, a place where the dead go to, and it's kind of it's just a fantastic setting in and of itself. What is this thing here? Countless scratches on the and wounds mar the surface of this door. Someone made a great effort to get inside, to no avail. You stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad plateau towering above the overgrowth far below. Strange machines have been built into the cliffside, presumably for reconnaissance or defense. A metallic disc gleams from the center of the plateau. Your self-aware humanoid machines drill into the base of the cliffs below. If you are looking for a sanctuary, and you were desperately, this seems like the right place. I don't know about this, the woman says, her voice flat, neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than the other ones we've found? Let's see. So I can use charm, draw her attention to the hidden details that you were more experienced. Okay, that's interesting. Convince her with the wisdom of your superior intellect. Let's go with this one. I am a rogue after all, but I'm gonna be a spellcaster. There's 3 character types, you'll see. But yeah, let's go with that. You shade your eyes against the bright sun so that you can point out the thin bands radiating out from the metallic disc. How the energy from those bands affects the local fauna, suggesting an enormous source of prior world energy. She thinks deeply. It's geologically sound? Have you run the sounding samples and checked the strata? No major caverns or weaknesses showed up on your reconnaissance scans? She waits for your affirmation and says, "Alright, I'm convinced." The 2 of you sketch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics and architectural diagrams. Then you descend onto the plateau to examine the open ground. The woman suggests having one of the servitors build a shelter for your time here. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulders to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes you across the face with inhuman speed. It turns back to its task, ignoring you. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it? Actually, I don't know. Let's see. Could be the disc itself. Examine the construct for mechanical flaws. That'll be an interesting thing. I really don't want to mess with machines on my character. I want to be more about lore, because that seems interesting. There are like 3 or 4 different skills. There's the characters. I don't know the character system well enough, but there's a bunch of skills. You'll see. It's kind of crazy. Use the Numenera integrated into the. What is that? Let's go with this. Use the Numenera integrated into the construct's body to overwhelm the behavior malfunction. A mist falls onto the plateau as you activate the time-scarred artifacts. Oh, that's... Oh. So the Numenera are the time artifacts from the previous eras? Cool. Fastened to the construct's behavioral core with a sub-vocalized command. With an abrupt clack and a pulse of pleasant warmth, the device purges the error, and 7 copper-banded spheres drop out of the evenly spaced rifts in the air. Ignoring this common side effect, you give new orders to the malfunctioning construct in a firm, clear voice. Acknowledged. It obediently tunnels to the site of your new shelter. The image freezes, then fades, as you feel the memory filling the gap in your mind block by jagged block. You stagger, clutching your head, reclaiming your memories. Hurt. And once more, there's something else. Hairs lift one by one on the back of your neck. Something beyond this room can sense what you're doing and is hunting you. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. And these things are realigning themselves again. We have another memory over there, or what looks like another memory. I'm not really sure where we are. Well, I know where we are, but at this point we don't know where we are. A vision of a city springs up around you. Your city in flames and under attack. Her defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attackers keep coming. They fight as if your destruction were demanded of them. They care nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She has seen the way to stop the invaders. You need to get her to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn down towards the door of the tower, 2 of the attackers descend from a hovering machine. You don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brutishly large, his weapon a vibrating axe. The other is slim, sheathed in glassy armor, and holding a hilt with a sizzling invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She's too young to help. Your enemies advance single file, confined by the parapet. Okay, fight defensively, duck under the giant swing and attack the other one. Oh, that's an interesting one. Trade blows with the giant, you can handle it. Nah, let's not go with that. It doesn't matter. All of these choices doesn't matter, but because you can, you know, overrule, but it still builds your character. I believe the game takes into account all these things later on, even if you build a character in a different direction. Let's see. Let's go with this one. No, let's not go defensively. Let's go with this one. Duck under the giant swing and attack before he can strike. You roll under the blurring arc of his axe. He's overconfident, testing you without committing to the attack. Yes, he's fast, but not as fast as you are. And when he raises a great axe above his head to finish you, you're able to bury your axe under his breastplate. The blade emerges from the back of his neck, and his life's blood washes over your hands. He falls, taking a weapon with him, and his companion attacks. Her invisible blade is far more lethal than the giant's axe. You duck as she thrusts at you, and the wall behind you hisses, destroyed. Her return swings cut through your armor, ruining your breastplate. She doesn't have to be skilled with a weapon like this, she just has to make contact. You time your attack just as she pulls it back from another strike. You barrel into her, driving her over the wall, and she drops screaming to the ground 50 meters below. The immediate threat ended. You focus on finding a way back to your allies. You open the door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked, opening just a bit into the wall, and you hear more of the enemy soldiers beyond. Okay, so let's charge through them, counting on your defenses to protect you. Is that an intelligence thing? Because there's 3 choices here, because there are 3 main attributes. I see them over here. Might, speed, and intellect. So it's weird that is intellect, but I'm still gonna crack the door open and sneak past them. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly. The sound like a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again, squeeze yourself through the narrow opening, and creep down the blood-stained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Your temples throb with the racing force of your heartbeat, and the reclaimed memories blaze within you, like a bonfire on a mountain peak, visible to every predator for kilometers around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you, as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying on your feet, you see frantic movement within the borders of your of a mirror at the edge of the room. Finally. Let's go. Let's have a chat with that mirror. It's not really what we're about to do, but let's go, let's go. I'm gonna zoom in. There we are. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with a dizzying number of interlocked symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets, and more, but that's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people, exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with, and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a precious few are vivid and pull at your attention. Each of them bears an intricate pentagonal tattoo on their head. In their eyes, their actions, you see the memories you discovered within the orbs and the choices you made, shining like distant stars. Your hand twitches at your side, and though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, an even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. A rumble shakes the ground, and a slow vibration spreads from the darkness below, rippling towards the ceiling. Okay, so I can point to the doppelganger moving cautiously through the crowd, or the one observing all others. Now, this choice over here actually was the same. I did different choices than my test character creation run in early access, but it's interesting that it's the same. So we can observe, we can be moving cautiously. I wonder what this means. Huh. Because we don't have 3 choices. I'm gonna move cautiously through the crowd because I think that's more interesting for this Let's Play. Let's see what happens. Falling into a wary, well-balanced crouch, the doppelganger creeps towards you, scanning its surroundings with suspicious eyes. Each movement it makes is slow, subtle, and deliberate. Unfolding from the crouch, the doppelganger waits for your decision. Yes, this is who I am. The remaining doppelgangers scatter for the edges of the mirror and vanish. Your chosen identity steps forward. Its appearance changes as it steps out of the rippling glass. Its face reflects confidence and cleverness. Shadows of weapons flicker in and out of his hand, and a few devices shimmer on its belt. You get the feeling you would be comfortable in a variety of situations. The word Jack sounds in your mind, and we're cautious, which is not at all who we're gonna be. But you'll see. Your doppelganger continues walking, stepping into you, feeling you, making you whole. Your decision rings out in the cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the walls. Suddenly, the grotesque noise rings through your shared worlds, like a bell if bells could rot. Something is coming. The mirror fades, excuse me, leaving a dark, open doorway. You take a deep breath and step through. And this is character creation. Let's dive right into it. So I know exactly how it goes. Basically, there's 3 types. Glaive is a fighter. Jack is a jack of all trades. That's what his name is. Actually, have a lot of lore over there. Oh, not a lot of lore, but a little bit of lore there to explain. And the Nano is a mage type caster. So we'll see over here the main. It doesn't say over there, but the main attributes basically. +2 on intellect on that guy. There's no pluses over here, but he does get a lot of skill points later, and this one gets a +1 on might, a +1 on speed. We're gonna be a nano, but we're still gonna be a little bit speedy. We'll see. So there's skills down here. There's more than these, by the way. These are just the ones that we have. Basically, there are 4 levels of skills. That's one. That's all. There's 2 of these things. It's novice, I believe. 2 of these gray things. There's one below that in ability. Basically, you get a penalty. Novice doesn't work. I don't know how it works, but basically it's not a penalty or a bonus. Then we have 2 levels above that, and that's interesting because that simplifies character development in a way that allows the developers to just... this might take anyway on this, because you have less skill levels. You can take that into consideration when you're making levels and making challenges and making skill checks, and that's good because they're hopefully going to be checked constantly on dialogues and interactions and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be a nano up there. We can choose abilities unlocked. Yeah, these are the abilities unlocked. Basically, it's these things over here. Apart from Onslaught, what's that for? Huh. We'll see that. We see those later on. Let's continue. So, let's see. So now we can allocate 2 stat points. So I'm gonna go with +1 intellect right there and +1 speed, because I'm gonna be a little bit speedy. That's gonna be how I survive, hopefully. We'll see, because we're gonna have companions soon enough. Not in this episode, mind you, but soon enough in the next episode. Let's see. Character creation we have... Oh, yeah, that's right. Scan thoughts. This seems very interesting. The surface thoughts of most people or creatures you speak with appear in conversations. While speaking with the inhabitants of the 9th world, you will sometimes hear their thoughts. This is often helpful, though rarely appreciated. Well, hopefully I'm not gonna give it away that I'm hearing their thoughts. And I'm also gonna take not quantum step. What's the one? Innervate. Yeah, removes all negative fettles. Fettles are basically buffs and debuffs. Excludes flanked and lasting damage, because apparently these are different. Lasting damage, I don't know what it is. It doesn't let me do that, but it also heals. This is a healing thing, so I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, health pools are kind of small, so I'm just gonna go with that for right now. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. And now I can choose 1 skill. If you're the Jack, I think you can choose like 2. And you can choose 1 per level up. As of right now, as for our character, I don't know when we're going to be able to train these levels. But I'm going to go with lore natural. Is that it? Lore mystical. That's the one. That's the one I want over here. Let's go with that. Yeah, lore mystical. And you could, if you had a different character, you could actually start with 2 levels and master a skill. There are no weapon skills for us. And these are the things. We got automatically selected... Actually, we got suggested the cautious, and that's what we had, but we're not gonna go with that. It'll change the character completely. There's a lot of them, and I suggest you look through them if you're gonna play this game yourself, and I suggest you do. But let's see. I'm gonna go with intelligent, because that gives me anamnesis, whatever that is. This thing, well, however that's pronounced, the last cast-off, which is the name of our character, can access the memories of previous consciousnesses, or... That's how it's pronounced? Yeah. This skill represents your focus and acumen when attempting to recall those experiences. So we're not going to be very skilled at anything, but it's going to be fine. We're going to basically try to get into people's mind. I'm going to be like a dream walker or something like that. And my intellect is already... Oh my god, it's 10? That's because of that, isn't it? Let's go over here. I don't want to be that smart. Come on. Attributes, exploration skills... Pools, that's the one. I'm gonna remove that over there and just go like that. So we're a little bit better, and confirm. Yes, I think I did not forget anything. Everything about this spectral figure seems dreamlike. He's a hazy silhouette who seems to be made of blue glass smoke. He wears stylish, well-cut clothes. His handsome, bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though you've never seen him before. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees you. We weren't sure that would work, the Spectre says. We pulled our strength and channeled it through me to reach you, to wake you up. He glances at the other figures here and frowns unhappily. It took more out of them than we thought. The other reflections, they are more like shadows now. Look, I'll bet you've got a lot of questions. This whole place is basically your mind. Your body's still out there in the real world, healing from that fall. You need to get out of there and finish the process. He shrugs. It shouldn't be too hard. So who are these people? You call them reflections? That's what they are. As I said, it's your mind. You'll find reflections of people you knew, people you met in the real world, and with whom you shared some kind of psychic connection. I don't know how or why, it just happens. And who are you? He pauses and looks down at himself, considering a long time before answering. I'm you? I'm a part of your mind, a splinter. I was waiting here for you. We called you with the memories of the others who are here. I don't know what happened next. Oh. So you said finish the process. What do you mean by that? After you wake up from this dream state and attune to the tides, you'll need to find something called the resonance chamber. Your body should have landed somewhere near it. Just climb inside that and everything will be fine. Oh, so we have our first direction in this game. We also have the end of the episode because we're running out of time. We're completely out of time actually. So let's continue this interchange with us, apparently, on the next episode. For now, I'm Colonel RPG, and I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, and you want to see the next few episodes, be sure to come here and leave a like down below. Leave a comment as well, and if you're new to the channel, welcome on in, and consider subscribing. I play a lot of RPGs and other games as well, but I mostly focus on RPGs. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.